Hey guys, my name is Holly Rankin. I'm the founder of Dream Center Gulf Coast, and today we are here at the Baymont Inn as well as the Park Inn in Greens Point off of the Sam Houston Parkway. Today we're just trying to shine a little bit of light on some situations that are happening here in Houston. So if you remember back in April, we had a massive flood. It was on the 17th is when it started on a Sunday night, and throughout the week we had over 4 feet of water through the Greens Point area. So I showed up on the scene and with a case of waters, and God granted us favor, and so we've actually been helping the Biscayne Apartments, which was one of the hardest hit apartments under Villa Serena, which has 14 apartment complexes. And so we've been there on site since the day that the flood hit, and we were actually given an apartment number 311, and so we're trying to office out of that. We've got to get the mold cleaned out of there and different elements from a disaster that are happening, but our plan is to do long-term disaster relief care, which we have been doing every single day. We are out there and we're helping the people. We know their names, we know where they live, we know what they need. Right now they have suffered a total loss just in that apartment complex is $250 total loss. That is not including all of the other 14 apartment complexes, and also including what was the other one called?
Biscayne.
Yeah, Biscayne. There's a whole list of them, but there's also Biscayne is not government funded. It's not Section 8. And so there are Section 8 HUD houses that were flooded as well. And so a lot of the people got brought from there, and they took them because they couldn't live there anymore. The city deemed them unlivable, so they took everybody and they moved them to the M.L. Campbell Center. They were there for a few days, and then because of different things that were happening, which always happens in a situation like this, which is mass chaos and catastrophe, and so there were thefts and rapes and different things like that that happened, and we don't know all the details on that, but then they got moved. The city approved them to be able to stay here at the Baymont, and then also the other motel right here that are connected. There's a couple other, I think there's 6 total of where people were kind of placed into while we were trying to figure out what is happening. First of all, we want to applaud HPD, we want to applaud the City of Houston and our mayor, who has been doing so much to be able to help the people of Houston who have been flooded. We really appreciate all of your help, but also we are here as a nonprofit to kind of be a voice and advocate for the City of Houston and for the people as well. So we have been here today since early this morning, and today what is happening is all of the people that are victims, which they're calling them survivors of the flood that happened here in Houston, are being asked to leave because they are no longer, the city's no longer paying for them to stay here in these motels. So there's been roughly, I think the city spent about $330,000 was a rough estimate of what I heard, to be able to have people stay here for about, what was it, 3 weeks, Joel?
21 days.
For 21 days. And so right now nobody has really anywhere to go. I did get to go inside, and Allison Brock, who's the chief of staff at the mayor's office, came out and she talked to me, and she showed me around and showed me that they have offices here, and they've been set up for since Monday from 8 to 8 with FEMA and the city and the health department, the psych department with the city, and HPD has been here as well. However, there are untold stories that need to be told, and so we want to expose them in a way without exploiting people, because people are already victimized to this. People are suffering PTSD, trauma, suicide. Yesterday we had 2 suicide attempts here. I was here yesterday as well. Last night I showed up, and I got a phone call from some people that wanted me to come out because there were some situations that they wanted to bring to light to me in this area. So what happened is when I got here, there was a group of women who were waiting to tell me what was going on, and so what happened is a woman tried to commit suicide because FEMA did not approve her to be able to get anything. And so we have people that have suffered a total loss. Like, people watch the news and they see this and that and the other, and they turn the TV off if it hasn't impacted you, but this is real life. And so in our generation we are very
Desensitized.
Yeah, very desensitized to what's really happening. And so what we're trying to do is expose what is really going on behind the scenes and behind the veil. So some of the situations that happened last night with the suicide attempts that I was here and I witnessed, and HPD, I talked to them and they approved that yes, it did happen. We saved her. Thank God there were people here that saved her life. But what I did is I went inside and I tried to call all of the news stations, and I tried to contact everybody in the local area to get somebody out to add coverage to this situation, because everybody was being kind of forced to leave because nobody has money. They've lost their cars, they've lost their jobs. There's 30,000 people in Greens Point who are impacted by this storm. Okay, so you take 30,000 people-ish who are impacted by the storm, you put them here. We've now moved them from their apartment, which is a total loss, to the ML Campbell Center, and then we moved them to the motels, and now we're moving them to Star of Hope, which I heard is at max capacity, and any other shelter. Before this storm happened, all of the shelters were already at max capacity because this city is bleeding out. And that's just being real. So these people, some of them have nowhere to go tonight. If they don't have friends or family, CPS was here last night knocking on doors and finding out if you didn't have a place to go and a place to live, they were taking the kids away from them. Okay, so in Houston, we have the most amount of churches in America. We have some of the largest churches in this city. We also have some of the most amazing funded nonprofits. There are many buildings here that we could be using, just thinking logically, that we could be taking some of this money and trying to put it to good use. And so Joel Green and I have been out here all day, and he's come on board with the Dream Center full time, and he's been boots on the ground with me since almost day one that I was out in Greens Point since the flood happened. And he has been eyes and ears for me. He sees things that I don't see. He hears things that I don't hear. And so he has a take on things that I don't always get a take on. Sometimes I'm inside and sometimes he's outside. So God is just so cool how he is a great connector. But we would like to kind of shine some light on some of the reality things that are happening. Last night I was not able to get a crew out here to come and record anything because there were other things that were happening in the city, and that's understandable. So what I did do is I did an email blast to every news channel that was out there revealing the true things that were happening to these people who are now victimized. And then I also pulled some people who came to me and said, I want to tell my story. And so the only thing I knew left to do was to record it. So I got my phone and I put it on Periscope, and I recorded everybody's story at their discretion, and I put it on the internet. I put it on Facebook, I put it on all social media, and I unveiled the untold stories that the victims are going through. And so today I showed up around 11 o'clock and I wasn't kindly greeted by the management here because all of the news channels were here, and they felt like it was too much chaos when they were trying to bring order to it. But you know, you guys, I believe that there needs to be somebody who stands up and who stands out and who fights for justice. And the Dream Center is not trying to take over the city. What we're trying to do is to come in arms with everybody in this city so we can come up with a strategic plan of action to be able to indemnify these people and restore them back to life. The apartments that the city deemed livable are not livable. These apartments are missing walls. The floors are no carpet. There is mold, or what they're calling is mildew, which is mold, which can make you sick. There is nobody paying for it. We have heard that these apartment complexes are not insured. I'm not 100% sure on those facts, but that's what we were told. There's exposed wiring. You cannot send a family and children into places that do not even have electricity yet or running water. So, some of the other stories that happened and that we were able to hear about from people that came to us and were willing to share their stories is that, you know, FEMA granted them 3 months rent somewhere. So then they took that 3 months rent and they said, if you take it and you go somewhere new and you apply to live there, then that's fine. Well, these people are trying to go and do that. But when they're doing that, you have to apply for an application fee. You've got to apply for a filing fee. You've got to do your background check and all this stuff. And some of the people here have a past. Who doesn't have a past? We are in Greens Point, which is sometimes an overlooked part of the community of Houston. And so now they're applying for all this stuff and getting denied. And the apartment complexes of where they were before were not letting them out of their lease. So then they could not get a new apartment, which then they kept the money from everything that they had to pay for. And it's just, these people are freaking out. And there's really not words to describe the trauma, the PTSD, I understand why the suicide is happening. There's nobody really out here advocating for them and giving them a voice in a way that's not saying, okay, well, we're not here to bash the city of Houston, but we're here to say, hey, how can the Dream Center come in arms with the city of Houston and try to bring aid to these people who may have to go and live out on the streets tonight. This morning when Joel and I got here, they came and took the kids on buses. And so then the parents were here and they were trying to file for assistance and with FEMA and different things like that. But then the kids were on the buses. It's now 5 o'clock. We have no idea where the kids are. Some of the parents are here or they're not here, or they went to apply or to find shelter somewhere. Shelters have times that you have to check in by. So I just don't understand why, like after Hurricane Katrina, Ike, Rita, all the other things that have happened, not only in this nation but globally, why we don't have a better plan of action when we have pregnant women who are about to give birth. We got babies running around in this stuff, breathing this stuff in. Today, a woman that was inside suffers from seizures, and because of all the stress, I had to take her up to her room and try to get her help and call 911, and she was about to stroke out. And thank God she didn't, and we were able to get her help. But they're not getting the help they need. We've talked with the city today, and people told us that that this is good for them because they're getting off the streets, and even homeless people are able to come and they're getting clean sheets and food and stuff. I talked to the people here, they're not getting food. Or what did they tell you, Joel?
Food. Red Cross was here for a week, and that was it. And they get cans of beans with no can opener. I don't know. The one guy told me that they at one point somebody was giving out MREs. For an adult, you're trying to just take care of your family. You probably will do what you have to do, but for kids, it's different. And almost everybody I've spoken with has children. One lady said that I asked her about all the food that apparently they've been receiving, and she said, Joel, I can show you the receipts from all the food that I've had to purchase myself. So she's like, what are you talking about? What are they talking about? She's like, they give us the little breakfast that's here at the hotel. She's like, but that's not a lot, and you got all these people trying to fight over that breakfast. And she's like, and there's not always a lot left, and it's not like the hotel is going to keep just putting out breakfast for people. She said after that, lunch and dinner, she's like, we don't see anybody. City officials said they're giving people clean sheets every day, and I haven't heard anybody back that up. It's just a real tragedy when the city that's trying to do so much, and they're trying to help out, as much as they can, when they're telling us and they're telling these families all of these empty promises and just empty words and broken promises, but I talked to 20 different people, and they all say the same thing that's completely contradictory of what a city official is trying to tell us. So it just makes you start to kind of question what's happening, what's going on. Can you believe everything that's being said? Can you really believe what you're watching on the news tonight? Can you really believe everything you're hearing in the media and on the radio? Unless it's coming from people that are in the trenches right now, then I would say you can't believe all of that. I would say that if you really want to get involved, if you're a Christian, I don't know how you can sit in your house tonight and not have a heart for these people that have nothing. If you call yourself a Christian, I don't know how you can say that you know who Jesus is and say that, well, maybe it's not my responsibility to help these people that have nothing. I wouldn't call yourself a Christian if you're not helping out in some way. And I'm not saying everybody needs to do everything, but I'm saying with the millions of people in this town and the tens and hundreds of thousands of people in churches every Sunday and every weekend, if we all collectively did a little bit together, then we could change the lives of families all over this town that have been put out and made homeless by this flood. So if you call yourself a Christian, then I challenge you to really do what Jesus would do. and don't try to make an excuse or say I got to do this or say I got to do that. I mean, take a day off from work. You get a paid vacation probably. You could take a day off from work, get paid to do it, and still come out here and help a family that has absolutely, completely nothing whatsoever. I dare you and I challenge you to act like Jesus would act, because he wouldn't sit in a climate-controlled environment just shaking his head and saying, well, I hope those people get help. He wouldn't sit somewhere and say, well, I can't do it. I've got to take care of my own. I got to take care of myself. Jesus said to die to yourself. And every Christian in Houston needs to die to their self right now, because these families don't need to wait for a benefit concert to go out. They don't need to wait another couple of weeks for you to make a decision to come out and help them or to donate something to them. They need help right now, tonight, right now, this very moment. And it's up to all of us to make that difference. It ain't up to just me. It ain't up to just Holly. It ain't up to just the people that are coming to help us. We've gotten so much help and so much support, and we're so glad that, you know, the city is here, FEMA's here, Red Cross is here, Salvation Army has been here, but that's not enough. One weekend of a little donation drive is not going to help these people get on their feet again. One day of going out and handing out some bags of toothpaste and washcloths is not going to help these people get back on their feet. And a lot of these people we talk to, they just want to go back to work. They just want a car. They want to be able to take care of their kids and have a roof over their head. They're not asking for handouts. So stop using that as an excuse that whatever you give is just going to go to somebody that needs a handout. No, whatever you give is really irrelevant to who it goes to, because Jesus said, give without caring if it comes back to you. Give selflessly and without ever requiring someone to repay you. So it really isn't up to us who we give what to and how much we give, but it is up to us to give and give and give and give, because we have more than enough. Every single one of us, we have more than enough. And these families right now, they have absolutely nothing. They're hanging on to the little bit of hope and faith and that they have, and they're praying. And a lot of them I speak to, they said, I know that God is going to deliver me. But they've already waited 21 days, and they're still getting tossed around like a herd of cattle. They're being treated like they're animals. And these are human beings with hearts. So if you have a heart, you can go to dreamcentergulfcoast.org and you can get in touch with us, and you can show up. Don't email us what you want to do. Just show up and do what you want to do.
We'll put you to work.
Just show up. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Don't talk to us about what plans you have to do things for these people. These families have been told so many things and been promised so many things that they're tired of hearing people talk, and they're ready to see action, because when we show them action, people in these communities are standing side by side with us.
That's right.
And they're helping out as well. They're volunteering to help their own community. That shows that they have a genuine respect for not only themselves, but for the communities that they live in, the communities that nobody cares about, for the communities that the news wants to tell you are being taken care of. They want to see their community get back to where they were before this natural disaster happened.
But even better, like, the crazy, amazing thing is that every single person that Joel and I have had the honor to talk to that were impacted by this disaster, they literally tell us, they're like, Holly, we grew up with mommies and daddies who were poverty mentality, who every day we didn't know how we were going to eat or how we were going to survive, and now I'm living that life with my babies, and now I don't have a house, I don't have a home, and I'm not looking for a handout. They're like, we will help you build the Dream Center. And the vision of the Dream Center is to be a residential program. Right now we are a mobile unit because we don't have the funds yet to be able to have a building. But y'all, we need the building. Like, if there's a time more than ever, right now is that time. And there are many buildings within the city of Houston, I know because I've driven past them, that are vacant and that are abandoned. And the Dream Center Gulf Coast would love the opportunity and the honor to be able to step into this situation and to be able to breathe life back into these people, to be able to put a roof over their head, to be able to feed them, to be able to educate them, to be able to help transition them into the next phase of life so that they get out of this poverty mentality and into a thriving mentality. And they know what they're looked at like. They know it. They sat on that Periscope video last night and they told me, they said, everybody's looking at us like we're nothing. And that's why we get treated like we're nothing. They said even our president didn't even come out. He said he was coming, but he didn't even come out to see us. And they're heartbroken. They are literally heartbroken. Like, these are literal lives. So I ask you, what is the cost of a human life? Because we seem to overlook it and we seem to just look past it and we drive past it, and if it's not happening to us, then it doesn't matter. But I ask you, walk outside your house tonight and you go out with me and you come out wherever these people end up going is where I will be. And you come out with me and stay with me with these people wherever they end up going, because I don't even know. The bus isn't even here. We don't know where the kids are. Nobody knows anything that's happening. But we have to be able to come together with unity to be able to come up with a plan and a solution. And the Dream Center Gulf Coast, we have the honor and we are partnered with Somebody Cares America, who has been doing national and international disaster relief for over 35 years, and who are almost our covering right now. And it's so amazing because they have so much wisdom and knowledge to be able to help us in situations like this. But you guys, every situation is different. So we're just doing a call to action to the city of Houston, to surrounding states, to the nation, and globally, to help us, whether it's financially, whether it's spiritually, and you are praying over us, because God knows we need y'all praying over us, because the Bible says it's not just, physical, but it's powers and principalities, and we're out here in these streets, and there are powers and principalities out here in these streets, but light shines brighter than the darkness. So, like Joel said, we challenge you to come out and to help us, and it shouldn't be a challenge, because it's written in the Word that this is what we are supposed to do. So I want you, if you are a believer, to actually walk out what the Bible says. Everybody's praying for revival. This is an open opportunity for revival in the city of Houston. Every single person that we encounter, we get to share the love of Jesus with, and it doesn't have to be through words, it's through actions, because your actions speak louder than words. And Jesus did the same thing. He walked right through people, and just by walking through people and people touching the hem of his garment, they got healed. It was just because he showed up. So I'm asking you to show up so that God can show up and show off, because he's here. He hasn't fallen off of his throne. He has a plan and he has a purpose for every single person. And I know that everything's going to be okay. I know in my heart and in my bones, but I'm just so thankful and honored that God chose Joel and I and the Dream Center and Somebody Cares. And thank you to all the other organizations, 5252, YWAM, Go Ministries. There are so many ministries who have come on board with us. Who am I forgetting? Lakewood came out as well and helped volunteer. There's so many people who have given donations. The constable showed up. He was the one that actually told me, he said, Holly, if you see some injustice, call the news. So I did, and then I got flack for it. But it's okay, because people deserve a voice of justice. The Constitution says, we the people, for the people, and by the people. And you guys, the Dream Center is for the people. And so if there's anything that you have that you would like to donate, you can do that via dreamcentergulfcoast.org. Our contact information is on there. Our email is on there. And we need help. We need help. We don't have all the answers, but we're going to do our best to try to help these people, and we're not going anywhere. We will be here for the long haul. We are not an organization that just shows up and says, oh, here's some donations, bye. I will never do that. The Dream Center Gulf Coast is here for the long haul, and so is Somebody Cares America. So just thank you so much, the city of Houston. Thank you, our mayor. Thank you, TOP. Thank you, FEMA, and everybody who has been boots on the ground. This is hard. This is not easy, but this is the book of Acts. This is literally the Bible times coming alive. The Bible talks about as in the days of Noah. Can you imagine what that is like? Wake up, because this is it. So just thank you all so much for your love and your support and your encouragement and taking time to watch this video, and know that we are here. And if anyone else that is a victim, and I don't even like calling you guys victims, because you're not. You're not a victim anymore, because we are here to help you. But if you need help, always call us. You are never bothering us. You are never ever. My personal number is on the website. That is the business and the personal number. Call us, text us, email us. Whatever you need, we are here for you every single day. We're not going anywhere, and neither is Somebody Cares. So please just reach out to us, because we're here for you, and we're here to love the city back to life.